1984 saw the release of Sign of the Hammer for 10 records, followed by a tour, which was great for the fans, but not a lot of fun for the band. I'm not going to dwell on that too much, but on Bonfire Night of this year, Joey and myself met up in London, and the rest of the news is good news. My specific reasons for meeting up with Joey DeMaio are twofold. Firstly, I have an exclusive preview of the new album, which is coming out in February. And secondly, of course, to establish the credibility of Manowar in the business, because actually you've been absent from the business for quite some time, haven't you?
Yes, we have. We purposely, at the end of the Sign of the Hammer tour, told all of our friends in the press, including yourself, that we've had enough now. We wanted to seek out a real record company instead of the last one that we had, one that was capable of understanding heavy metal, and a heavy metal band such as Manowar. We had not found that up until just now. So we're not the type of people to take advantage of all of our fans and all of our followers and believers and just put any old thing in the press every week, whether it's true or not, like most groups do. We wanted to wait until we actually had something to say. And we knew that by saying anything, our fans would just say to themselves, when the time is right, Manowar will come back. Until then, we've got 4 albums, and when they come back, it'll be bigger and better than ever. And that's it's taken 2 years of silence, but here we are.
Well, you're looking bigger and better than ever,
well,
because it's some time, isn't it, since we last had a chat, isn't it?
Yes, it's been a while. But as I said, in honesty, I think the thing that the fans like about Manowar is honesty, and that we don't do anything on record that we can't do live, and we don't do anything on stage that is hokey and gimmicky. And so I just couldn't see sitting over in America doing interviews saying, well, we're close to a deal with so-and-so, or we might do a tour with so-and-so. Hey, if you don't have anything happening, then why not say nothing at all and get something happening? And that's what we did. We wrote songs for the new album. We sought out a new record deal. And I'm proud to say that we're with Atlantic Records worldwide. We've got a great label, and they told us, make any kind of record you want. It doesn't have to be commercial. Do anything that you think your crowd will like. And that's exactly what we've done.
Now, it wasn't like this in the past, was it? Far from it, in fact. Now, you have to bear in mind also, Joey, that I've got a brand new show, which is possibly, well, it's probably the biggest thing in England since Sliced Bread. Mm-hmm. Because I also work for Metal Hammer as well, which is great fun. So we also have a lot of young listeners, people 12, 13-year-olds who won't know too much about Manowar. Right. Just give us a little bit of a history of Manowar.
Well, I mean, the thing is, Chris, you're doing this big new show now, and it's taken you years. You've worked with a lot of whackers all through your life until finally finding the right people that believe in your show and your talent and your ability to convey to all of your fans. I mean, the people that you go out over the airwaves to believe in what you say, because they know you're not a poser. They know you don't wear a suit and have short hair. They know you're not a whacker. And it's the same thing with Manowar. It's taken us a long time to find the right people to work with and around us to bring Manowar to the people. And it just takes time.
Okay, there were 4 albums originally, Battle Hymns for the Liberty record label. Mm-hmm. And then Into Glory Rides and Hail to England for the Music for Nations record label. And the 10 record, All Men Fire on 10, or whatever it was called.
Right, All Men Play on 10. Yeah. But we fire on 10 too, so I think that's probably a better title.
Which brings me, of course, to these fabulous photos. It's a pity this isn't television, of your PAs. Just go through these photos again, which I'm going to take home and treasure.
Chris, this is the first photo we're looking at is a picture of my personal bass rig. And it's the largest bass rig in the universe, and it's what I record with in the recording studio, and it's what I play with live. There's no room on our stage for a fake stage set, hiding my bass amp, because I'm really not embarrassed of it, so why would I want to put a stage set above it? I want to put equipment on the stage that delivers raw power and raw metal. My bass rig does 160 dB on stage. I'm the loudest bass player in the world, and Manowar is the loudest band on stage. I mean, anybody.
How many cones is in that then?
That's about 100 speakers right there.
Yeah. And then Ross's guitar rig here, which are Marshalls.
Yeah, Ross uses his standard setup in the studio and on stage is 12 Marshall cabinets and 6 Marshall heads, and they're all modified, of course, to do 2 to 3 times what the normal Marshall would do. So actually, Ross is playing, anywhere from, 12 Marshall stacks on out, the equivalent of that much power. But you see, the reason we do that is, Chris, we don't rely on the PA system, because the PA system colors your sound, and it tends to change the overall quality of the sound. We rely on the band's power from the stage. And now playing a new custom-built drum system. They're all electronic, and he's using computers to fire them. And it's called the Drums of Doom system, and it's all custom-built for him. And Scott plays back pre-arranged drum sounds that have already been pre-recorded from his kit. So therefore, it's unbelievable. There's the sound of cannons, trains crashing, and it really comes across well with what we're doing. We want explosive power, and that's what we're all about. We're not about stage sets and tuning our guitars down to sound a little thicker and a little heavier. We're at playing at the normal pitch, which most musicians don't do. I don't know if you know that or not. Most bands tune their guitars down a little bit so that the singer can sing up a little higher, but we tune to standard pitch, and our singer does his screams at normal pitch, which most people can't do.
Mighty, along with Klaus Meine from the Scorpions, I mean, Eric is just some sensational singer.
Oh, he does a scream at the end of this new album that is just going to horrify other singers. In fact, there's going to be a lot of people looking for a good piece of rope and a strong tree after they hear this new album.
So tell us about the new album. How did you get the deal, firstly, with Atlantic Records? That's most important, isn't it?
Well, yes. The thing is, as I said, we've dealt with a lot of whackers in the past, and it's been unfortunate, but really the good thing about all of the bad times Manowar have had has been the fact that our audience have stuck with us, and they've been loyal. And I think that the thing that's most remarkable about that is that if you put out an honest, sincere product, you might not get 1 million fans, but the fans you will get will be sincere people that can spot sincerity. In other words, I've never ever held the illusion that Manowar is going to be the biggest band in the world. It will probably never be the biggest band in England. I don't ever think we'll ever play Hammersmith Odeon 7 nights in a row. But I do know that it would take 7 of anybody else's fans to make 1 of ours. And that's all we care about. If we play to 100 people or 1,000 people, it doesn't matter. We put on the same show and we do the same thing every night. We are just there to deliver metal. And that's what it's all about. Atlantic Records noticed this, to answer your question, because we did a tour in Europe with Motorhead. And I must give Motorhead some great commendation. They were very good to work with, and they're the only group that's let us open the show for them in 4 years. We did 1 tour with Ted Nugent for 6 gigs 4 years ago, and since then we've been turned down by every major heavy metal band in the business. Yes, fans, I'm sorry to say some of your heroes don't have the balls to let us play on stage with them. Motorhead came through. Lemmy personally came in the dressing room the first night of the tour. He knew what I was there for. He knew I was there to drink his blood. And Lemmy's not a stupid guy, and he walked in and said, "Hi, Joey, how are you?" I said, "Hi, Lemmy, I just want to say thanks for having us along." I said, "Nobody has got the balls to let us open the show." And he looked me right in the eye, and he's a man, and he said, "Joey, if you think you can burn us up, well, then you get out there on that stage and do it." I said, "Lemmy, that's what we're here for. Thanks a lot." And it was great. He was such a man. He just stood there and let us get out there and do our best. And of course, he got out there and they kicked ass. And at the end of the day, the fans got a great show. They saw Manowar get out there and kill, and they saw Motorhead get out there and kill, and our fans loved Motorhead, and a lot of the Motorhead fans really liked Manowar. Yeah. So at the end of the day, when you've got that type of attitude, that's when you get metal.
It's what you call value for money, isn't it?
Value for money for the fans and true metal. I mean, by people that are really concerned. There was no fakery, no gimmickry, no flash pots, none of that. I mean, it's not necessary. Why take the focus off the band? The people are there to see the band, give them the band. Not monsters, not stage sets, not fakery. The real deal.
So when are we going to be shaking a tail feather on stage in future then?
We expect to be in England probably in March. The record comes out right after the first of the year. And we're going to start a world tour early February.
Brilliant. And Atlantic are putting up the money, presumably?
Oh, yeah. Atlantic are firmly behind the band. I mean, we are working with a good group of people now that realize that true metal has its place in this world. In fact, you'd be surprised to see how far America's come. I mean, America is now starting to open the door for true metal. I mean, Metallica have done just wonderful there. And it's great. It's starting now to come around where, hey, people have had enough false metal, and they want to see what the real thing is.
Well, it's good to see you in Britain.
Oh, it's great to be back. I've not been for a while. It feels wonderful. Haven't had a good curry in ages. I had one last night.
And get your hair cut too.
Oh, Chris, I'm going to have to do something about my hair. Yours is getting a little bit longer than mine.
Great to see you, Joe. Cheers.
Great to see you, Chris. Thank you.